there, Internet. It is I. You do not know who I am, right? It is me, Tank Top Douche, coming at you again for the 47th time in a row with another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. I'm not used to recording so many intros in a row, so just bear with me. Today, we have a bit more of a standard deck yet again, and I have a good reasoning behind it this time, okay? I know you guys want a spicy, brand new list every single time, but I like playing some more established decks as well every now and then, and god damn, dude, like, the one thing I can guarantee is that I tried to play PYKE outside of an all-in Lurk deck, and I just have not been more depressed ever. Like, I spent way too, because I was stubborn about it. I was like, I'm gonna make this work, and I just did not like the results for like, I was at this for like 12 hours or more. Like, I was like nonstop. I spent an entire day on this shit, and I had nothing, which is why we're a bit, you know, time is pressing on us, right? But I really wanted to showcase PYKE again because I actually enjoy playing Lurk as a deck. You know, I don't have an issue with an archetype like Lurk existing in the game, in the sense that it is a deck that is very rigid when it comes to deck building. You know, even though you can argue that finding the exact 40 cards for the deck is not yet discovered, that's a fancy way of saying, oh yeah, maybe like 2 or 3 different cards here and there. Yeah, it's a deck where you put in all the Lurk cards, and you put in more Lurk cards, and then you put in some more Lurk cards, and you call it a deck, right? That's Lurk for you. From a deck building perspective, it is the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life, but from a gameplay perspective, it's actually really, really fun. Like, I enjoy playing it, even though it's a bit high-rolly for my taste, but I just love PYKE's design, man. I love leveled up PYKE. I absolutely love it, and I love the fact that when you lurk him, you get death from below as well. I just love this champion. Unfortunately, taking this champion out of the show, you may say, well, I've seen some people take it out in like an all-in deck with just like 30 spells and like 2 units. And they just buff PYKE. It's like, yeah, what happens if you don't draw PYKE? Like, I don't like building, you know, meme decks that win 1 every 30 games, you know? Like, I like building original decks that perform consistently. And one of my rules when it comes to deck building is to just not go all in on one thing in the deck, because you may not draw it. You know, there are a few exceptions, but even those like Fiora with triple entreat, I'm not a fan of either. You know, but those are actually a little bit more viable, right? But if somebody presents you like a PYKE deck with like a shitload of spells, like, oh, this is PYKE outside of Lurk, oh, well, dude, it's like, it's tier 7. And I don't want to give you, you know, I have some standards, and I want my decks to actually be able to win games. So in that sense, getting PYKE out of Lurk is, because the problem with Lurk, I'm going to use this video to ramble a little bit. The problem with Lurk, when it comes to deck building around it, is that the more Lurk cards you take away from the deck, the amount of value that your units, your Lurk cards, then represent is actually exponentially worse. Does that make sense? Because if I take out a bunch of Lurk cards, okay, but I still have the Xerxai Collar, I still have the Redfin Hammer Snout, the problem is these Lurk cards are significantly weaker when you're having a hard time proccing them, right? So the more Lurk cards you add into a Lurk deck, it snowballs in actual value, and it's just, it's really hard to justify that. And the problem with PYKE outside of a deck like that is that, first of all, you won't be able to get the death from below, which is one of the reasons to play him, and second of all, his stat line is just too low for a 4-drop, right? And leveling him up without any prior boost that you gain from the way the deck plays itself makes it really, really hard to actually get the level up through other more standard reasons. I can see decks with Rek'Sai, but they're a little bit more boring in concept because they're just, you know, with Noxes and just a bunch of buffs, and it's not really the most fascinating thing. So that's the problem that I had. As a deck builder, I really wish I was able, because Ripper's Vase is garbage, and I really wish I were able to take this out, but it's not meant to be. I know, because I see a lot of people saying, well, like I said, the game needs more, like, the game needs decks like these. Some people don't like the deck build, and they like decks built for them, and I understand that, right? But my issue is, like, I don't care about Rek'Sai being tied to one deck. I care about this guy being tied to one deck. That's where my issue comes with the design, right? because I really, really like Pyke. And I know a lot of people share my sentiment. Like, some people wanted to see him have some sort of potential synergy with Deep as well, because apparently that actually works out in League of Legends, etc. So, yeah, just thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I've been ranting about this for quite a bit. Regarding my own Lurk deck, as you guys can see, I'm not playing Bloodbait. I'm not a big believer in the card, even though there's some very nice plays you can set up with it. I'd rather have a little bit of card draw, and I also Rite of Negation as well, as some variants do not run it, and Ruthless Predator as well I do like very much. I also like having some bigger units. Instead of playing Bloodbait, I'd rather have some units that actually threaten and give us value and enable us to curve out. As we're running 3 copies of Search of Theft, 1 copy of Search to Rat, Dealbreaker, and 1 copy of Jellfish. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my take on Lurk. Not much more to say, which makes this deck tech bizarrely long. But to be fair, it does feature a pretty long tangent in the middle of it. So yeah, that's how I feel about Pyke. So sorry for anybody who I let down, because I really wanted to showcase him out of that side of the shell. Maybe I'll keep trying in the future. Maybe we'll receive some more support in the future that will allow Lurk to, be more flexible. But the way that the mechanic is designed, it's like another take on Allegiance, basically. So it's very, very hard to take. It's like trying to build an Allegiance deck without going all in one region, right? It's kind of the same thing. So that's the issue. But nonetheless, this deck itself, even though it's the only deck package I'm ever going to be in, is still very fun to play. And I wanted to give it another go. So hopefully you guys enjoy the games. I'm going to stop talking. That was all day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. Tomorrow I'll be back at it with a brand new spicy AF list. I know it's been a couple of days coming from one of those. And I'm really excited to share. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. Love ya. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's see how we fare against Ziverzet. We don't have the attack token first. This Rite of Negation, I don't really think we have too much use for it here. I'm gonna keep the Redfin Hammer Snout and the Collar as well. Nice. Really wanted that 1-drop. I don't need to play the Hammer Snout now. I can just do this. See if we hit the jackpot. We do not. But what matters is we got the Lurk.
Would you look at this place? We made it, Ram. I want to go home. This way. Go.
Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. We wait for them to attack, then we drop these 2. And there's Pyke. You're going back up. Yeah, you can't play Sivir. Get a good hit off on him there.
Without a sound.
Chase what you want without mercy.
From below. Fuck the order. Nice. They can always have a spirit refuge. The power!
More names off the list.
More names on it! Okay. Some good old fresh dasses. Nice throwback. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan away these three because we want to be lurking into Rek'Sai, right? So we already have the one drop. Ooh. We could go for the Aspiring Chronomancer, but with double one drop here, I'm going big. Go big or go home. I believe. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta gamble. There's a lot more damage. Jawfish. Bit early for you, buddy, but
Gonna find a gift for Renekton, right, Arda? Wrap him up tight.
oh, I'll go with this trade. I'll get rid of this. It is a blocker for my hatchling. Merciless hunter, how busted are you? Problem with playing Pyke now is that Thresh can come in the following turn. I don't really have anything for it, so we're gonna go ahead and play Aspiring Chronomancer.
I don't want to eat whatever woke you up.
We gotta be patient with Pyke because of the threat of Thresh.
Arda's gonna make a meal of him. You're dead meat.
Feast. Right. He's been able to halt us pretty well.
That's right. Run!
I'm gonna skip. Just because I want to have some chance to pull a Rek'Sai. Most of my deck is Lurks, so the odds of me not pulling here, like I said, they're pretty low. They exist, but it's a gamble that I'm like with this deck. You gotta take gambles. It's a variance-driven deck, right? Like you gotta believe in the heart of the cards sometimes. And I can do my best to either get Pyke or Rek'Sai here. If I get Rek'Sai, I'm able to one-shot this Thresh, which is why it's really important. But that can mean we got a bone skewer. Yeah. Something. Gotta gamble.
We'll get our licks in.
This doesn't feel good, man. Managed to get the Thresh level up. Man, he dealt with us really well. We got a bit unlucky with our pulls, to be honest. Yikes. Bam, ba-da-dum. We're so dead, even with the high roll. We still die to atrocity.
There you are. Come. This way.
I mean, there's no way for us to win. Like, there's no top deck that does it for us, so we gotta shoot. That's the emote. Tough match. Tough match. Alright, Pirate Aggro. Piratas. Todos piratas. I'm gonna mulligan this because I want that one drop. More than anything I've ever wanted in my life, I want that one drop. I need that one drop. Rek'Sai, high roll. Fuck. All right. I thought maybe yelling would enhance my chances, but didn't work out.
Coming in hot.
Well, I'm coming in cold. Cause water. Why do people even watch me? Yes. There we go. Now we're talking. This way I push more damage. But this way I force him to trade.
Sure about that?
Yeah, and I keep my healthiest units. I sacrifice 3 damage for keeping the beefier unit online. Like, this makes a lot, like, this makes a big difference. Having this is important.
Keep up, keep up.
You could have an Oxygen Fervor, so me going for Death from Below now doesn't really make much sense.
Through the coral.
Beast come in all shapes. I'm one of them.
Oh shit. The reason why I'm doing this is because if he has an Oxygen Fervor, I will counter with Death from Below, but I still want to hit with Pike to work for the level up. He could have another Oxygen Fervor that he picked up with this because that was at the beginning of his hand, but doesn't seem like that's the case. And we run through him.
Back to the waters.
Back to the water! Get the fuck out of here! Oh boy, a Lurk Mirror. Nothing like a Lurk Mirror. And because I have Call the Pack, I want to keep this Rek'Sai in the opener. No. We wanna find that one drop. That's what we wanna do. There we go. Oh! All calculated. That's the thing about this deck, man. Every now and then you have this game that's just absurd. Alright, we trade. Oh my god. We high rolled the fuck out of our opponent. I mean, we're good at the game. That's what I meant to say. That's how it sounds. Alright. That's pretty good. And now these swarms are just nuts. Bro, I'm hitting everything. Oh my god, dude. I just denied his attack! Well, not exactly, okay. He's doing two! Nice. Balanced match. I think it was all about our sequencing, our decision making, and honestly, we just proved that we are far superior as a Lurk player. So take some notes. Next round. Okay, well this is a race, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit early for Preservarium. I kind of want to drop. I want to do a full mulligan, really, because like I said, I really want that one drop. There we go. And having two non-Lurk cards here in hand also makes it more likely that we will be able to capitalize. And the double Cersei hassling is fantastic. Oh my goodness. This can only be punished by one thing. Come on. Come on, show me a Rek'Sai again. Maybe we're getting a little bit too greedy there. That's pretty good.
Greed will turn any man into a monster.
Mm-hmm. Sure thing.
Take everything.
Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam.
I taste purple.
Okay. Bam, bam, bam. Ah. Oh man. Am I going for this bone skewer? Okay. That's fine. So what's at the top of our deck? We'll see.
Looks like I'm ready.
Bye-bye.
Swipe it off.
Off we go.
Not a great top deck.
Hello.
Man, oh man. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.
Master yourself, master your enemy. Yeah! As the dragon wills.
Now that's a beatdown. Absolutely everything went wrong in this game. Like, we had a really good start, but these tasty Fae folks really set us back. And that miss, man, that miss was brutal. When we missed that lurk, that was absolutely brutal. I mean, there's several things we can do. We can go for a bone skewer here to prevent here, but the reality is you have to understand when the game is over. We're down in card advantage, and they have a leveled up Lee Sin. No matter what we draw at this point, especially because if we're forced to go for this bone skewer, I mean, we can see. We can see what we get, but it's just, I just don't see how we can win this game here. Like, now we get Pyke, but his Lee Sin is too thick. So we catch a boot. And we can see. Not much we could have done. Like, we did what we could. Meliador. I'm gonna do a full mulligan because I really want that one drop. Even though thermogenic beam is a thing. If I have the Sharkling, I would prioritize that. Because it doesn't die to thermo beam. Alright. You come in a turn late, buddy. A turn late. He needs a mystic shot here. The odds of him having a mystic shot are pretty solid.
Time for the main event.
But now we make it hard for him to block with Raven. At the end of the day, we gotta push him. Because he decided to drop Draven here now, he has to use the axe to trade into my Hammer Stout, which means, you know, that's his axe gone.
Time for the moneymakers.
Which is fine. We got the roll.
This is gonna hurt for you.
They could have a whirling death. Woo! The power!
Ass with your name on it. You suck.
Bam, ba-da-dum. So that's one Ravenous block that he's used up here. I'm gonna drop this now, even though I don't get to lurk with it. I want to prevent his ability to just open attack on me. And I want to keep this pike for when I have like a bone skewer, another pike, yeah. We know he has a tri-beam probably leader, so we gotta navigate around that. We also we have to assume that because he played one Arachnoid Sentry, he must have an Arachnoid Sentry or a Thorns of the Rose to counter our Rek'Sai. So we're gonna pass back. We're gonna refuel a little bit. This is how we play Pyke in this matchup. We don't rush him. Tri-beam. Because now on our attack turn, we can use the Bone Skewer to eliminate that in response to the removal. And we can set up Pyke at the top of our deck. And we can go for the attack. Naturally welcoming in the trade. Nullifying their Tri-beam effectively and getting a death from below. Very powerful one at that too. Like one strong enough to just knock out. One strong enough to just knock out a Captain Farron at this point. Very important, because that means they can't play Captain Farron. And I'm gonna see if I can fish for a Rite of Negation. It can't be Thorns of the Rose, actually, because they have to play Thorns of the Rose beforehand, so it has to be another Arachnoid Sentry. They're really thinking here. Rite of Negation, no such thing. Okay, so next turn, how are we looking at? We're looking at 9 mana. Which means 12 mana, which allows us to do this, this, and this. So I'm actually taking the Under Titan.
I don't want to meet whatever woke you up.
He knows I have a Rek'Sai, he knows I have this. So the question is, how will we play around it? This music is so catchy. Okay. But the thing is, as soon as I attack, you need 2 spells to knock this out. I could play Rek'Sai here, but that just allows him to develop an Arachnoid Sentry to block this turn. So I demand 2 answers out of him. Okay, we don't Lurk though. But they still need to, like, do something about this. Unless you want to go down to 1, that's fine by me. That's super dangerous. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just assuming he has another Arachnoid Sentry in hand because a player of the caliber of Melidor would not, especially when I'm lurking into Rek'Sai, would not just waste an Arachnoid Sentry and not have a backup plan for that. Yeah, it's fine. This is a very hard thing for him to answer. So we go for the same game plan. Like, it's like, hey, I'm playing this. You gotta deal with this now, or the spell shield will overwhelm you.
Once I stab papers, now faces.
Okay, so he can actually generate the blocker for this. But if I... What if I do this?
We can always rely on you to keep us safe.
I'm threatening lethal. Threatening lethal. How do you deal with this?
See what I've learned?
Again, he has an Arachnoid Sentry. I know he has it. This is just value. Like, this is just generating value for me because he needs to, first of all, he needs a Spinning Axe,
System upgrade.
which will take a card out of him. And then he needs to do that. Okay, so my question is, what happens if I do this? Just a question. We win. I'm just getting started! Beautiful. Slow and steady wins the race.